Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Stonehearth. We have a little bit of a new setup with our streaming gear here. I got a mic on an arm instead of just on the stand, so audio volume should be a little bit more consistent. Doesn't rely on me leaning forward as much, which is good. That was something that we needed to get squared away prior to the stream that we have coming up on Tuesday, where we start probably gonna have, it's looking like, I'm pretty sure I finalized it, but 3 weekly streams, probably 2 hours each, but potentially hour and a half, minimum an hour for sure, but not 100% sure on the overall length, long term though. Probably just gonna be 2 hours. I think it's easy enough. 2 hours isn't that long, so I don't mind doing that. So yeah, I'm going to be putting up a video, just giving you the details. You know, here's the link to the channel, here's the stream times, this is the plan moving forward, here's what here's what we're going to be playing, all that fun stuff. So I still got work to get everything set up. Gonna work hard on that tomorrow, but I think we're pretty much good to go. Just to give you a preview, I've mentioned it previously, but just in case you didn't watch those videos, we're going to be playing Birthday is the Beginning, which is a game made by, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's the same people, I believe, who made Rune Factory 4, which is a game that I very much enjoyed for the 3DS, and if you like games like Harvest Moon, I would recommend picking it up because it is a very, very solid title. Probably one of my favorite handheld games of all time. But that's a relatively short list anyway, so, you know, I don't play that much handheld. Mainly it's pretty much that, Metroid Fusion, like the original Kirby, I think, Kirby's Dream Land. I played the shit out of that as a kid. There's a few other ones in there too, but that's mostly it. Not too many handheld games. Oh, the Phoenix Wright series is up there too, for sure. Final Fantasy Tactics. I think that's it though. That's pretty much it. I really just don't play that many handheld games. But Rune Factory 4 is one of the best ones out there in my book, so give it a look if you want. But the guy or company, I don't know if it's just the designer or the whole company or what, but same people made Birthday's the Beginning, and it's like a ecosystem kind of game. It's hard to explain, particularly given that I don't actually understand it, so we'll discover together on the stream if you choose to join me. So hopefully we will have a fun time with that, and if it turns out to be a buggy mess that's unplayable, I've got backup options, so it'll be fine either way. But yeah, it should be Tuesday 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. PST, which is 9 to 11, no. Yeah, no, it is 9 to 11. 9 to 11 EST. So, a little late on the East Coast, but my employment kind of mandates that kind of a start time. I might move the Sunday times a little bit earlier to get people in, but it's probably going to have to stay from 6 to 8. It just makes the most sense to do it that way. Plus, people, like, if you can watch during the week at that time, you can probably watch during the weekend on that time, and it'll be a nice, at least for me, probably for some viewers as well, it'll be a nice little, like, winding down end of the weekend, getting ready for work on Monday kind of stream. That's generally it's kind of how I act normally. I'm just a pretty relaxed guy for the most part. Sometimes I get mad, but that's mostly that's mostly stuff like League of Legends or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I got pissed off a few times today. I actually had my first win yesterday, and that was good. I've only ever played solo. It's not a group win or anything, but just my first solo win. And then today I got close a few times. Pretty much, if I survived the first 5 minutes, I almost always made like final 7 or 8. I made it pretty far, but all of my long runs pretty much wound up being situations where I would like the circle would just be an open field on my side of it, and I'd have to go all the way around the circle to get somewhere where there'd be cover, and even then it wasn't much cover, and there were like 10 people left. So basically the only thing I could do is like go prone in the field and pray no one saw me. And that worked pretty damn well, and I might have been able to carry that to a victory on one of them, but I was scared, so I moved up, and that wound up costing me my life. So, you know, bad decisions. That's really... I kind of enjoy that game because it's not, on the face of it, it's a shooter, right? If you look at it, it's like, oh, this is a third-person shooter where you try to survive to be the last person. It's Battle Royale. But maybe it's because it's the first Battle Royale game I've really played. I like it because you really... the shooting is part of it. If you're not good at shooting, you're going to have some trouble. Don't get me wrong, but most of the gameplay, in my experience, is much more about surviving and making good decisions about where you're going to go and when. You kind of have to... you try to loot for a while, and then at a certain point you have to say, okay, it's either been too long, I need to settle down, or I have enough, I need to settle down. And then you try to put yourself in a position that basically, if you think about it, there's like 3 different ways that you can have an encounter with another player. The first one is you surprise them. The second one is they surprise you. And the third one is you surprise each other, and it's a, you know each other is there. You know, I know you're there, you know I'm there, and it's a, it's like a even fight, I guess. Alright, looks like my military's getting in there, that's good. So if it's an even fight, fine. Whatever. But obviously, looking at those options, your first choice should always be to surprise the enemy, because then you have an advantage, right? So what you want to do is put yourself in a position to do that as much as possible. Did we have a guy die? I don't think so. Well, we'll find out soon, I guess. It's just weird that there's clothing there. Oh, what's he doing up here? What are you doing, buddy? But yeah, so you want to put yourself in a position to surprise the enemy as much as possible. You want that to happen as opposed to the other way around, as I said. So the idea... oh, he broke like 30 doors. What the fuck? I hate those guys. It's so annoying. I understand they need to be able to break doors, but holy shit, it's obnoxious. Basically, the more you're moving, the more noticeable you are. So at a certain point in the game, you have to recognize, okay, I've got enough gear. Maybe it's not ideal. Maybe I don't have as much as I'd like. Maybe there's things that I still want to get, but I need to stop. Because if I continue, I'm going to stay mobile, and if you're mobile, you're visible. And at a certain point, you have to say, alright, enough's enough, I'm going to settle down and hide in a building. And at that point, then you can start turning things around and saying, okay, well, other people are going to have to move. So, as a result, now I will get the drop on them. And that's how you win, basically. So, but the other part of that is it's one thing to say that and, you know, talk about it while you're recording a Hearthstone video or something that, or a Stonehearth video, sorry, that has nothing to do with it, that has none of the pressure, the intense, like, fear of being discovered and caught by someone with a better gun than you, or someone who's got better aim than you, or someone who spots you before you spot them. All of that, it makes it difficult to... you can understand, hey, this is the right play to make, and you can think about it if it was on a test where you're just writing it on paper. That's one thing, but it's a different thing to have to execute to that in the moment and do it correctly, you know, when the pressure's on. So it's a very fun game in that regard, in my opinion, because you can kind of... you have to manage yourself. It's not really about shooting. Shooting matters, sure, but you know, there's 100 people. The win that I got, I only killed 3. And the last guy, I didn't kill him. I mean, I killed 2. One guy I killed, I think, really early on, and then the other 2 were right at the end. But the last guy just died outside the play area. So I didn't do anything to actually win. I just put myself in the right position where I was safe and had a good vantage point on most things. And then I won because the other guy had nowhere to go. So it's more about that than it is about shooting, and I guess I enjoy that more than I thought I would, because when I saw the game I was just like, oh, well, if you're the best shot, you're going to win. And that's not true at all. If you're good at shooting, but you put yourself in bad situations, you're going to lose every game. That's all there is to it. I kind of like that dynamic, even though I'm not that good at it. So, anyway, that's been fun. But, what if other than that, I've just been playing Fallout Shelter. Cooking, trying to get food for the week, especially because I'm going to be streaming. I need to make sure that I have food ahead of time. Probably going to have to go get groceries again tomorrow. Let's, actually, you know what? They're still building this. But they're building it kind of slowly, so let's try and get some more stone. Mildly concerned they've run out. This should be plenty. Excuse me. But yeah, I've been, like last week, was it last week or the week before? I think the week before I made this really good, Karen and I bought a bunch of, sausages from this local place. It's like I guess it's a butcher shop. They make really good sausages. Like the one that I got now that I really like is, chicken sausage with spinach and feta cheese, or not feta, Parmesan cheese in it. And there's another one that's portobello. This one I actually probably like more. Thinking back, I'll probably have to go back and get it. It's like feta, portobello mushrooms, and chicken, and it's got some kind of green in it, probably spinach if I had to guess. That one's also really good, so I'll probably go pick some of those up next time. This time I got the spinach one, and that's really good, but yeah, you gotta mix it up. Variety's nice. There's also a French wine one, which is delicious. Get 50 of these. And by 50 I mean 100. Yeah, that's gonna be nearly 100, but probably more like... Can I do 40? I think I can do 40. Alright, what do we got here? Nothing I care about. Do I want to sell anything? Not particularly. Yeah, I'm good. We don't need to sell anything right now. I really just want them to finish this wall. I don't like that they have ladders on the outside right now. It kind of makes invasions worse, not better. And they put all the windows on one side and not the other. That's kind of funny. Oh well. They'll get to it eventually. I think right now they're just trying to get through that, yeah, the mining project. It's going to take them some time. But yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up here. Trying to, you know, this is, you could say this is this is a business of mine, you know, the YouTube stuff. That's definitely business. So I'm doing my, yeah, I don't think I need that one. That's why I left it there before, but I think we can get rid of it. And it's nice, but yeah, you know, it's a business, and it's my business. I operate it. Doesn't exist without me. So it's definitely mine, and it's fun to put time and effort into that and kind of think about where to take it, what to do with it. You know, new content, which has been difficult lately for a variety of reasons. So I apologize that we haven't had new series on the channel. I have a few that are ready to go. There's more work that goes into it that I need to worry about, like art and things like that I need to get rolling. So, you know, it takes effort, and there's a lot of work that goes into launching a new one. So I'm trying to figure that out, get those going. It's really It's fun to make progress, though. It's enjoyable. It's gratifying. Even if that progress is just, you know, hey, I'm gonna stream next week. That's a big deal. For me, anyway. You know, everyone feels differently, but it's like, my attitude was always that, you know, YouTube is where you go to grow your audience and get started. And you can't really start on Twitch because you had to be so big just to do anything on there. It was ridiculous. There's no way you were going to really get started on Twitch. That's not how it works. In my mind, it would have been a lot of work for really very little reward. I wouldn't be able to get subscriptions. I could get donations, because what are they going to do about it? But I wouldn't be able to get subs, wouldn't be able to get emotes and all that stuff, which is like a major part of the Twitch culture and everything, so it was kind of pointless. You know, why would I go do that if I'm not going to get any of the benefits? So my attitude was always, alright, go to YouTube, get an audience, and then transition over to Twitch. So in my mind, going to Twitch was always... And by the way, I don't mean like, oh, getting rid of YouTube and going to Twitch. That's not what I'm talking about. YouTube stays 100%. This channel's not going anywhere, just to be absolutely clear. But beginning to do stuff on Twitch because frankly it's more profitable for a lot of reasons, and it's also more engaging and productive for building an audience. But if that audience can't be built while simultaneously seeing a financial benefit, it's kind of difficult to justify working your ass off to do streams all the time. Like, it's much easier to start out on YouTube, I think. And the other thing is, YouTube has a very low barrier to entry. You can kind of just do it. Twitch didn't work that way before. It seems like with the affiliate program it does now. So even though this isn't really what's happening in my mind, because I built it up to be this way, because that's how I planned it, it feels like I've kind of reached a new level of success, and now it's time to take the next step. And that's a good feeling. It feels good, you know, to move on to the next stage. And it's not moving on really, because the old stuff is still staying here. Like I said, the YouTube channel is not going anywhere at all. We're staying right here. Series are continuing. I'm not ending anything. I'm just adding Twitch. So moving on maybe isn't the right way of putting it, but I guess progressing with this business, whatever you want to call it, it's a very gratifying feeling, you know? Well, you can go through your whole life without building anything for yourself. And I mean, when I say building anything, I mean like a business or something, and that's, you know, it's kind of affirming, self-confidence building. I don't know. I don't really know the right way to put it, but it's to be able to do something and see even limited success in a situation like this it makes you feel good. It's a nice feeling. It's not an amazing feeling. I could 100% live without it. I think if I ended all of it tomorrow and just stopped doing any content, my life probably wouldn't change that much. I would just invest that time elsewhere. So it's not like this is, oh, I need this to live or anything. I'm not trying to say that. It's just, it's nice, you know? And it's good practice too. And I'm looking forward to the challenge of dealing with live interactions as opposed to YouTube, which is still, YouTube is challenging in its own way, I would say. I think, and I've streamed before, you know, Tuesday is not gonna be my first rodeo. It will be my first, like, official, it's the beginning of doing it officially, as opposed to, you know, hey, I'm gonna stream tonight, see how I can, you know, see how it goes. It's the first, hey, I'm actually doing this for real stream. So, it's kind of a... On YouTube, you really, the challenge is you need to find things to talk about. You need to find entertaining things to talk about, which is something that I sometimes struggle with. And I recognize that. That's probably the biggest thing I need to work on. especially coupled with the fact that my voice doesn't really have that much energy, and I understand that. That's mostly just because of who I am, rather than not having energy. I have energy. It's just, you know, first of all, Stonehearth isn't exactly a game that's going to get you pumped up, right? So there's that, but it's also, you know, this is who I am. I'm a kind of laid back guy a lot of the time. I don't really go nuts over too much. Like, PUBG gets me riled up, League of Legends did, but mostly that's anger, not excitement. Hockey always gets me riled up, I get pumped for that. So there's things that do it for me. It's just not something that I'm good at turning on and off at the moment. One day, I will. And I'll be a better streamer and YouTuber as a result of that, but today is not that day. Consider it to be a work in progress, let's put it that way. Whereas Twitch is more, I guess, fostering a community and communicating with people. It's interacting with people and being charismatic. And also being funny. Like, one of my favorite guys is Last Grey Wolf or Austin on Twitch, and probably why I really love him is his reactions to weird shit happening are just so good. His laugh is a just fantastic laugh. He makes crazy noises. He does, you know, like screams, kind of, not screams, but, you know, like adult scream. I'm not going to try and imitate it. I can't, especially not because it's 1 a.m. and I don't want to piss off any of the neighbors. But it's good. Take a look. He's definitely a guy that I'm going to be like focusing on and seeing, like, okay, you know, there's things that he does that I need to learn from and work on myself, because he does them well and earns success as a result of it. And I have to have respect for that and say, look, you know what, I need to understand what he's doing better than me and figure it out on my end and figure out how I can translate that to something that works for me. So anyway, he's one of the guys I look up to, even though he's like 3 or 4 years younger than me, which is kind of funny. But, you know, skill comes in all different ages. Someone can be much worse than you and older, or much better than you and younger. It's not always how you'd expect. Experience is not everything. And I mean life experience. Obviously, he's been doing Twitch for far long. I think he's been doing it for like 5 years now. I'm starting in the future, so it's not exactly saying that I have more experience than him, because I most definitely do not. But more time on the planet, I guess. Let's put it that way. At any rate, that is going to do it for today's episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. Take care.